Do you have bags under your eyes and it's ruining your photos? Well, I have that problem because I have a 1.5-month-old baby girl and she is taking all of my sleep and keeping me up late into the night. So, with that being said, how do we remove bags from under our eyes in PhotoScape X? Well, let me show you. So there's a bunch of tools. If you're in the editor, you're looking at these tools. It's like, where's the automatic remove, bags from under your eyes? Unfortunately, there's not a tool like that. But there are some tools that you can use, and we're going to look at them today. So we have the editor. We hop over to tools, and then we've got a bunch of tools here to play with. Now, your first thought might be, hey, I've got the soften skin tool, and I can just zoom in here and I can soften skin. Won't that take away the blur, or won't that take the bags out from under my eyes? Well, unfortunately, it doesn't really get rid of the lines from underneath there. It does soften, and it's good to soften skin, but it doesn't remove the bags. The bags are the real thing you're trying to do. The bags and then the discoloration. So a different tool that I encourage people to use would be the spot healing brush. You can go and select the spot healing brush, and if you zoom way in, you can go and you can just select these lines and remove them. And this is the software guessing. It's trying to do the best it can, so give it a little grace. If it looks kind of weird, like right there, give it some grace. It's just trying to do its best. And, this might take a lot of finicking with. It might not end up working great in every circumstance, but it does an okay job. And it's something that is completely free and just a tool that you can try to use when you're trying to do it. You can go as slow as you want or as fast as you want. Just try to see what works. But if I zoom out, that bag is kind of is looking better. So let me zoom way in here. Compared to the original. Yeah. So it took away some of those lines there. From there, I could, whether I use the soften skin tool or if I use some kind of a blur, maybe there's a way that I can adjust that. And thankfully, there's ways to adjust the strength on these different things here. But yeah, zooming out, hey, looks better in my opinion if you're trying to remove it. Now, if you have Photoshop or Affinity or some of these other stronger softwares, there's a lot of really neat ways how you can get rid of the bags from under your eyes. But, at certain times, it's like, hey, if you're just using PhotoScape X, those are some of the tools you can use. Let me show you another option. If you have the pro version of PhotoScape X, there is the clone stamp. Clone stamp's really cool because you can select from below the bags and then paste them up above. And you can adjust the strength here or the hardness here. You can really make a lot of good adjustments here to lighten up these sections of the photo. Now, what's really neat is you went and did that and you're like, okay, well, now you could say, hey, Nathan, it doesn't look natural anymore. And that could be the case. You could overdo it. But if the goal is to just remove the bag from under your eye, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good there. So your call on whether you like that. And, if you see, I duplicated a freckle there, that looks unnatural, you can go back and remove it. So that's a way you can do it. But with those things noted, there is another tool that you could mess with, which is the draw tool. The draw tool, you could select the color of your skin. You could draw over something. Sometimes I do this if there's something that's just really odd and clone stamp or spot heal doesn't do it for me. I can go and select the color of the skin and I can just do this and it'll paint kind of an airbrush over that section. It doesn't work perfect all the time. It's only that one color that you've selected, but sometimes airbrushing does wonders. Okay, now, one other thing in here, we've got the bag over this eye. This is the troubling one. If you have a lot of shadows and it's darker and things like that, it can become a much more challenging task. Like over here, we got this thing looking pretty good. But over here, it's tough because you want to have it one color, but then it's going to come out looking another. So we could try spot heal. We can do clone stamp. It's just tough though, because it's really saying, well, how would it actually look if I didn't have the bag under my eyes? It's like, well, I'd have more like this color underneath here, and this color would be over here. And, you know, when does this color transition to this darker color? And it's kind of tough to figure out. And then, you know, this whole lip here looks really big and puffy. Like, how do you get rid of that? Sometimes there's these challenges that you come to and you're just like, I just can't do it. And, you know, there's sometimes you have to face up to reality and be like, okay, I'm not going to look like $1 million in this photo, but I'm going to do the best that I can. You know, there's times where it works great, other times where it's going to be challenging. So give yourself a little bit of grace here. The one thought that I would have is, let me show you the draw option, see if a little bit of airbrushing could help you out. So we could airbrush around just a little bit. No, I think I'm doing too much here. Let's see, we can zoom out. No, that doesn't look good at all. Oh yeah, but if you guys have any other great options as you're messing around with some of this stuff, definitely let me know, because I would love to be able to fix this image and have myself have perfect 0 bags under my eyes. But in this case, it just is such a tough ask to try to make it to work. Even if I were to go back and use clone stamp like I did before, I still think it would be pretty tough. So hopping over here, we got clone stamp, zoom out, grab it from down there. Just gonna start pasting all sorts of stuff in here. The eyelid, I probably need to not remove the eyelid. The side of my face doesn't need it that much. Okay, let's try this again. Okay. Okay, we're just gonna say that it goes off like that. Okay, then let's see. Oh boy, this is gonna get rough. But this is kind of the fun of editing, because you get to mess around with stuff and just try to see what works. One thing that I would recommend, going back to color, you could go and mask some of these sections and just say, hey, I want to darken this some. It's just really tough. Really like shadow the whole thing. Nope. That doesn't look good either. It's tough, you guys. So, you know, if you are trying to remove bags from under your eyes, sometimes you can make it look great, like on this side. And other times it's not going to look very good because maybe you have a lot of shadows. It's very complicated and it just becomes really tough. But you guys, I'd love to know your thoughts if you have any other any other ways you'd like to tackle this project. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.